right, what's happening, everybody? It's your favorite podcast in the world, the High Five Guys with Todd and Chris. Welcome to just a wonderful, terrific episode. It's going to be great. It's Olympics part 2 for all you wonderful people that speak French. I think that's 2 in French. But no, we are doing the second part of our Olympics episode where we're going to talk about some fun facts, some records, some interesting sort of stats, and everything else that happened at Olympics that wasn't just what caught Todd and my attention at the time in terms of events. So we'll go through some really interesting things in this episode. We've got some high fives as well. Incorporate that with some Olympic MVPs. So there were many athletes. So we're going to throw an MVP in there as well and see where the conversation goes. There's going to be, I think, a lot of facts that both Todd and I have heard. We've done our research, but I think neither one of us have heard all of these facts. So I think it'll be somewhat surprising and just interesting going through it. And we're glad you've joined us for this next episode.
Yeah, we'll quiz each other a little bit. I think that could probably be fun. Give you some brain busters. I will say I've never done more research for an episode. This is by far the most I've done. I probably did about 3 hours worth of research. I mean, just really strapped in, really going after it, like a student putting together like a book report. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I mean, people might be sick of hearing about the Olympics, but we love it. It's our Christmas in the summer, so we're gonna get the last bits out of it, and then we'll move on to something. But yeah, we had to put a bow on it.
Yeah, I mean, it took a good 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks of not just our lives, but everybody across the world was paying attention in some capacity or knew the Olympics were going on. So a lot to uncover. Last week we talked a little bit more about just what caught our eyes, but behind the scenes too, there were so many different storylines and just interesting tidbits to talk through. So that's what we're going to talk about in this episode, and it's going to be great. I'm just smiling. I'm so happy. It's going to be awesome. Having said that, Todd, what's new? What's happened since we last got together?
I think I always give these updates, but show was great. Breadfruit Saturday, one of our best. I know I've said that before too, but it was just this amazing turnout. I mean, all these people I wasn't even expecting. Greg showed up.
That's awesome.
Family. Yeah, totally didn't expect that. We got some guests from like Maryland, who I think, and they happen to know some other people, like some of our regulars, the Filipino guys. They just happen to know each other. That was like they weren't there because they knew them. They happened to show up. So that was crazy.
But Maryland showed up. Did they show up because they knew you were there? Or they were just going to show up anyway?
I'm not sure. I didn't get the full story. I should have, as a good like market researcher, I should have found out exactly how. I post to a lot of social media groups. It's like these local Facebook groups, or it's like North Jersey musicians, open mic peeps, open mic NJ. I post to those things. It's possible they saw it in one of those things. They're both kind of musicians.
Yeah.
So they may have just randomly been looking for that while they were here, on this weekend, this sort of vacation weekend. So not positive, but just a lot of turnout.
Yeah.
Tracy, all these people were there, and everyone brought their A game. So it was fun.
Was there a favorite song? Favorite song that was sang?
Wanted Dead or Alive by Mark and Nino was incredible. They've been working on that intro to that. They had like the guy who plays guitar. He also runs like a pedal based drums, and that was awesome. And Mark just really sang it. Yeah, that was really good. And Patrice and I did Tonight I Celebrate My Love for You.
I don't know. I want to say I might
like
do
the very early 90s, I think. It's like Peebo Bryson, Roberta Flack. It's like it's almost like a Disney type song, or like it might be in one of these animated shows or something, but that kind of song, just a fun, like,
Okay.
silly love song, that duet that you sing back and forth. But we had fun with that.
Good. Good. So awesome. So another great time there at
Yeah.
Breadfruit.
And I bought a keyboard today. I went to the music store. I bought one of these mini keyboards. It has like 30 keys or something, or 21.
Okay,
But
so
it can
like
make sounds like
size of a foot, maybe like the size of a
really small.
computer
Yeah,
keyboard.
really small. The
Okay.
whole idea is to like maybe round out our sound. I would love to be able to get like that melancholy sound of like cello, bass, upright bass, those kind of strings like that.
Hmm.
And drums too. You can throw drums in, you can, and whatever, piano is the obvious one. But I think it could nicely round out our sound if somebody can jump on that occasionally and just throw in like some of those other missing components.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't even tried it yet. I've taken it out of its package. That's it. Yeah.
Well, you just bought it, but
Just
I
bought
know
it.
you're probably itching to try it out.
Yeah. After this, I'll be experimenting with it. How about you? What's new in Chris Land?
Well, had a lot of friends over the last few weekends, so this was our first weekend of not having anybody to host. Again, always fun. Appreciate you coming up. I know my guy friends from the Penn State were here a couple weeks ago too, and just it's been fun. It's been a little more relaxing, which has been nice. I had my first long run for training for this ultra marathon, so 9.5 miles. I I have a plan. I've not really followed it at all. We're gonna see how it goes. So I probably need to ramp up some of that running because the race is only, I think, so today. Yeah, we're middle of August. It's like a month and a half away,
Wow.
and
And
so
is that 9.5 like way longer than you've done in recent times?
it's the longest run I've done since April. And so I really need to be putting more just miles on the feet. Doesn't matter the speed. It could
Okay.
be, somewhat slow is actually probably better, more beneficial too. Just more the time. Like, hey, spend an hour and a half running, 2 hours. I do actually think my longest run for this training program is going to be a marathon. Like it probably should be somewhere between 26 and 28 miles, I think is
That's
what I need to
so
do.
crazy.
So
Yeah. I mean, when you do that, would you do it in a way of like, I'm just gonna do 14 laps of this little area, or are you gonna do like some kind of crazy, cover a very long distance?
I think it's probably going to be more the latter. I like the idea of doing the, like, actually racing and running at the race venue because it's so close to me. I'll probably do a few training runs there, but I think the long
Oh,
is going to be a, a couple loops at the park. So the Saratoga State Park has that 5 mile trail. I might do 3 or 4 of those, and then round that out with like a nice road loop of 7-8 miles and call it a day. Brother.
yeah,
So
that's something. Wow.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
so that was good. So I felt good on that training run. Joe and I probably have our new favorite TJ Maxx home goods store, and she's really big into like getting stuff for holidays and seasons. So of course, Halloween and sort of the fall season is out everywhere in stores, and we found so many like fun Halloween, items to have out and about. We also got these lamps that she really was looking. She got the lamps that she really wanted that had donuts on them. So there's just like a couple different colored donuts, and she's got 2 of those.
Wow.
It was just it was a fun, like, sort of spur of the moment trip. So that was great. And then for me, actually at work, I do have a new boss. I'm transitioning to someone who just started this week and had a good conversation with him. We're already, running some reports to see what, comes out of the systems that he likes, he doesn't like. He's getting up to speed with everything at the company, and so far so good. Just very personable, and so this week is starting off well.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Okay,
for
well,
him and for me.
nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, it's
Okay.
good. Yeah, I mean that.
Cool.
Last thing, we are going to Cape Cod this weekend.
Oh,
Joe and
wow.
I have never been to the Cape,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
we are going to spend just a long weekend. So we're going to head out Friday afternoon. We're going to come back Sunday
All right.
afternoon, evening, and get to explore. So more to
All
come
right.
with that. And I think it's going to be fun. The weather looks fantastic. So we've been
Oh, I was
like,
gonna say, yeah. I just hope you get good weather. That would be not great if it was bad weather. You definitely want good weather there. You want to be outside and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
And we've got a couple things marked off on like Google Maps, right? We
Yeah.
want to go here, here, here. So that's the
All
plan.
right. Cool.
That's what we're going to do.
Good. I think you like it. Cool.
It should.
We jump right into this. I know we have a lot to
We
cover today.
we should
Yeah.
and what we could do, so for everybody out there, Todd and I are going to tag team on just some interesting facts and tidbits and medal counts, all sorts of things on the Olympics that we didn't really get to talk in or about in the last
Yeah.
episode. We're going to talk about this one and just kind of go back and forth and feed off each other. Todd's
Yeah.
got some stuff
Deep
prepared.
dive. Yeah. Deep dive into certain areas. There's going to be some areas we don't touch on. I mean, you just can't cover everything, right? With
Yeah.
33 of sports or whatever it is. I mean, you can't know everything about everything. But yeah,
No,
little deep dives here and there where we found interesting tidbits and stories.
exactly. And maybe to kick things off, actually might make sense for me to start. I highlighted what are the new Olympic sports, what sports have left,
All right.
and
All
then
right.
just overall like athlete count and nations represented. So, for those that don't know, the Olympic Committee does go through the list of events, and sometimes they cycle things out, they bring new things in. So this year there were two sports that were completely new, and that was breaking and kayak cross. So so think like cyclocross if you're into like BMX and motorbikes, but for kayaks. So they've actually got like, I think it was 4 or 5 kayakers at once competing against each other on this slalom course. Really, really cool.
I did not see 1 minute of that. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting though, huh? It was pretty good to watch.
I think it's
I
enjoyable.
missed it. Yeah. Okay. I might go back and maybe I'll watch one of them or something. Okay.
It's pretty neat, and it goes by quickly. I would say
Yeah.
one of the races last a minute, maybe 2 minutes. They're
Okay.
already done.
Okay.
And then breakdancing, we talked a little bit, I think, about in the last episode, and that was a new Olympic sport. And the idea was we've got a lot of more younger audience. How do we tap into the younger audience? And breakdancing was an idea, and I don't know, Todd. I don't think
Well,
really
I will
worked.
say, when you say younger audience, right? Our younger audience loves memes. They might love a meme more than they love anything else on the planet. It was the most memeable event by far. Ray Gun has completely dominated the meme scene coming out
Yeah.
of
Yep.
the Olympics. I don't know. I mean, they're not gonna hold the event again, so clearly, like the whole thing itself wasn't a huge success, right? So
Yeah.
the fact that you got a hilarious, super memorable thing out of it, I call that a win. I mean, some people would say like, she took other people's spots or whatever, but no one remembers anyone else.
Yeah.
Can you name a single other competitor? I can't.
No, I mean I could picture
Yeah.
the men's final where it was a Japanese guy versus a French guy. I could picture them. I don't know their
Yeah.
names. A U.S. Got bronze. So Victor something
Oh,
was
I didn't even know that.
he
Okay.
won bronze on the men's side.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah.
got for
yeah,
breakdancing.
Yeah, I don't have much either. I mean, I did see some like pretty good people, but yeah, whatever. Like it's the only one who made a lasting impact is the ridiculous. Yeah, so
Yeah, unfortunate because I mean, and it is a skillful, you could say sport, exercise, whatever you want to call it. Like I can't do it. That's for sure.
And if you put it up against something like, and I'll apologize in advance because I'm sure there's somebody who's going to hear this and be like rhythmic gymnastics. If you compared it against something or artistic swimming, I don't know if that's what you call it, but that synchronized swimming, that kind of thing.
Yep.
It's not too different from those.
Yeah.
I mean, we think of it as really silly because it's new. But if rhythmic gymnastics didn't exist before, or if synchronized swimming didn't exist, you'd probably also think that's pretty silly. So,
yeah. So those are the two brand new Olympic sports. There were some returning sports that were new: sports climbing, skateboarding, surfing, and then the 3-on-3, 3x3 basketball.
Oh, I didn't realize those went away.
So it's I say returning because I think they were first introduced in the Tokyo Olympics, and maybe all of them.
Oh,
and they actually said that they're bringing them back. So
it's just the second time for them. It's not, those didn't go away. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because the way that there was an article I came across on one of the websites that said that there's a core platform of events and sports.
Yeah.
And so like this year, breakdancing, kayak cross ended up on this like introductory phase. Yeah. And sort of, you see how it goes, and then whatever happens, right? If they keep it, renew it, or get rid of it. So that's where I came across some of these other sports that seemed like in Tokyo, they tried it and they are returning for a second, go around.
Okay.
So we've got that. We did lose baseball, softball, and karate. Those were not in the Olympics this year.
Didn't think about those for a second. I mean, I know taekwondo's in there, right? As an example.
Yes.
I don't even remember karate being there. But baseball
and softball
at all. Again, I know there's big baseball fans out there. I just did not need it connected with the Olympics at all. Same way I don't need golf connected with the Olympics. Those two things.
Yeah. But I mean, people watch. I mean, golf's definitely, a lot of these sports, international sports, but just not as interesting. And I know we even touched on soccer.
I just don't need it in the Olympics. There's so much golf inventory of international people playing. I just don't need it there. It doesn't bring anything new.
Yeah. Yep. And then on just total athletes, so about 10,500 athletes. First time where it was an equal representation for women and men, 5,000 apiece plus in terms of athletes. And then the top 5 countries with athletes were the US, France, Germany, Japan, China. That is the ranking of athletes per country, or top 5, I should say. So France was
that sounds like it makes sense.
France was 2, then Germany surprised me at 3. I wouldn't
have guessed that one, but okay.
And then Japan and China, and then all those 10,000 plus athletes represented 206 national Olympic committees. It's not necessarily countries. And the reason why is because there is a neutral team for Russians and Belarusians.
Oh, okay.
Who basically just said, I don't agree with the war. And they were allowed to participate. And then there was a refugee team.
Right. I remember seeing that boat.
So there was a refugee team. There were 37 athletes as part of that team. So they had fled their country for various reasons, found refuge somewhere else, and were able to participate. And so,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought really awesome. And one person on that team won bronze in boxing.
Oh,
from the refugee team. So that I think pretty cool.
That's a good stat. Yeah,
pretty cool.
Which country was that?
I don't know. It's just refugee team. I guess I could find out what country they were.
Oh,
Yeah.
it didn't have any additional. It really that person was literally just listed as like refugee team.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Understand.
I like
Okay.
that. That's homework. That's the 3 hours of homework I didn't get a chance to do or didn't do.
Okay.
Right. I applaud you on that. I don't
Yeah.
have that answer. So those are some fun facts just with kind of introduction, sports, number of athletes, etc.
Yeah.
What do you got in your mind?
Okay. Well, so do we roll into medal count here? That seems logical, right?
We could do it. I have some
Yeah.
stuff in here, but
So you have
hit
some
us
stuff.
up.
Yeah. Maybe you keep rolling. Let's see what you have, and I'll start sprinkling in some stuff too, because
Okay.
this is where I have some of my first heavy research.
Nice. Well, yeah, please. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
So 91 National Olympic Committees won medals. So out of that 206 that I mentioned, 91 of them won a medal.
Okay.
And from that, the U.S. won the most, and the U.S. tied with China for golds.
Yeah.
So France, the host country, finished fifth with medals, 64 medals. And working down the list, New Zealand was the highest ranked country to have 50% or more of their medals being gold. So they finished 11th, and 10 of their 20 medals were gold.
Okay, that's a fun stat.
And then 5 countries also had their first time medal. So Dominica, St. Lucia, Cape Verde, and Albania.
Wow,
And,
Cape Verde. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you know what theirs was?
No, I know that they had 7 athletes, so I kind of wrote that stat down. So Dominica,
I know the other ones. I honestly, if you honestly quiz me, I'm not sure I could have told you Cape Verde was a country. I would have thought that was a capital city of somewhere.
I think of the islands. I think Cape Verde Islands, but I didn't think that was a country.
Where is that? I can't believe how much I don't know this.
Isn't that off the coast of Africa? I believe.
Maybe
the western coast of Africa.
Yeah, maybe. I really don't know. Yeah,
and the last thing on medals, because I want to hear your fun facts and stats. I will say, so of those, so Dominica and St. Lucia only had 4 athletes.
Oh, that's crazy.
And, one of those 4 won a medal.
Oh, both of them had 4? Both countries had 4?
Yeah, so Dominica had 4.
Dominica had 4 athletes? Okay, I didn't guess that either. Okay.
St. Lucia had 4. Cape Verde had 7. Albania had 8.
Okay.
And, great percentages to bring back a medal.
Well, and they won golds, too.
They won gold. Yeah, Dominica won gold. St. Lucia won gold, right?
Yeah. Julian Alfred and Thea Lafond.
Yeah, both in the athletics realm of the Olympics.
That's pretty good.
What other medal facts do you have?
Okay, yeah. So mine are like sort of like one tier below that, sort of like diving more into details, sort of.
Okay.
The one thing I really noticed that I think is really interesting. So I have my sheet up now. I'm not sharing it, but I'm looking at it. Countries really, really have specialties. That was my first big observation. So if we start with the U.S., athletics, we got, I don't know, you want to take a shot at like how many total gold medals we had and then total medals? I'll tell you this.
In athletics.
There's 48 total medals to be won between men and women. How many, I believe, that should be men and women. How many golds do you think we got and how many total you think we got?
So I would say total medals.
Sorry, there's 48 gold medals to be had. Okay, that's more. That's
okay.
That makes more sense.
So you want me to
3 times that is the total medals.
Yeah,
but,
so 100.
How many do you think we took?
So so the total medals is 144. Does that sound about right compared to the numbers that you have?
Yeah.
So of the 144 medals, how many did
the U.S. take home?
Yep. So I would say in athletics, I think we took, I would say 45.
Oh, not bad. Okay. Yeah, I guess I have a lot to get through, so I won't quiz you too long.
Yeah.
34 total. How many golds you think?
Golds got to be 13.
Nice. 14. Very
All
close.
right.
Very
All
close.
right.
Yeah. The next observation. So, U.S. also, again, swimming, and this is a funny one for me because I felt like we had a really off swimming year. Maybe it's because we didn't have Michael Phelps in there winning 8 gold medals by himself, or with the relays and stuff. I just felt it was an off year, but we still beat everyone else. So there was
Okay. Really?
37 gold medals to be had. So that means 37 events.
Yep.
How many do you think we took total, and how many golds?
Okay. So yeah, medals. I would say again, probably close to a third. So I'm going to say we took, well, 37 times 3. I'm doing the math, 111. So
Yeah.
fine. I would say if track, it's close to track. I'm going to go my lucky number, 35. I'm going to say 35 medals.
Okay, not bad. Yeah, slightly high again. 28 total.
Okay.
And then we took 8 golds, which was more than I thought. Yeah, when I went back and looked at it, like I just kept seeing us. Like I didn't follow every minute of swimming. I just kept seeing us losing. The premier events, like the 200 backstrokes and IMs. It just felt like Australia kept beating us.
Yeah,
it may have been that it was just skewed. Like the ones that I happened to see were like where we did our worst. I did see Katie Ledecky win. I mean, you couldn't miss that. They
she won the Falke Thomas Finke.
Bobby Finke.
Could be. I don't.
Yeah. And Tori Husk got 2.
Okay.
I had no clue. She won 2 of them. Like premier type events, like 100 freestyle or something. I probably have that wrong, but like a premier event, not some weird, wacky side thing. Like she won 2 premier events. I didn't know she did that. There was some various ones, relays, things like that. Australia's the other one. They were second. They very much specialize in swimming. By far, it's their biggest haul. They had 7 gold medals, and they took 18 total. So that was the second best country for swimming.
Yeah, and compared to their overall medal count, Australia, I mean, you could say a significant portion of their medals
are overall. I have a thing up, or do you have that in front of you? I can pull it up. I have it. All right. One sec. Australia, 53 total, 18 golds.
Yeah, and so 18 of the 53, a third of their medals came out of swimming.
Yeah, and more than a third of their golds.
Yeah, and for the U.S., then more than half of their medals came from, actually about half came from track and swimming.
Between the 2 premier events. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, right in that range. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it makes sense, right? I guess that makes sense.
But you really get these country specializations. Now, where it's even more specialized is these Asian countries. And this is, I think I have a couple that will actually maybe shock you. So, who do you think totally dominated wrestling this year?
So, I mean, it's weird. Like I almost want to say like Kazakhstan, but I think is kind of across the board. I know we had 1 gold medal. I feel like in one of the weight classes for wrestling.
It's weird, right? Yeah, this is a good one because you didn't even hear like the broad story.
No, I'm going to stick with Kazakhstan. I'm going to stick with Kazakhstan.
Okay. Yeah. I honestly think that's a good guess. I know the one year they dominated weightlifting, and it turned out after that it was not pure.
Oh, nice.
They failed. All of their athletes failed.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And, tests came back after, and they failed everything. They had to give them back. That was weightlifting. No. Japan. Can you believe that?
In wrestling.
Can you believe that? They dominated at a greater level than any of those other countries I've talked about so far did.
Wow. Okay.
So
I would
there
no. I
was
would not have.
unbelievable. There was 18 gold medals to be had. Okay, between men and
Okay.
women.
Yep.
How many do you think Japan got?
Out of the 18 gold medals,
Yeah,
how many gold medals they got?
yeah. Good guess. 8.
I mean, that's
4 men, 4 women. It
yeah.
wasn't even like one thing like that. It was 4 men, 4 women. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't know they were this good. I didn't notice it from other Olympics, and maybe it was
Yeah.
there. I've never noticed this trend.
I
It's
mean,
one of the
incredible.
most stunning things for me out of the whole Olympics.
Yep. I would not have picked that out at all. Interesting.
So yeah,
So
I thought that
no
was a
wrestling.
fun
I
one,
like that.
and I watched a couple of guys, maybe a girl too, just destroyed people. I saw this one final. I think guy won like 12-2 or something. I mean, it was a total blowout. Um, I don't know how to explain it. They're just very, very good at it. Now the remaining is China.
Okay.
This is dramatic. So I think you want to guess the 3 that they really specialize in and really super ultra crushed in.
So one of them's got to be table tennis.
Yeah, for sure. 5 out of 5 gold medals. They do this every year.
Yeah. I mean, they're incredible. I mean,
Every
it's a
year table
sport
tennis
that
has been contested. They've won every single gold available. They do it every single time, which is an unbelievable stat.
yeah,
And they used
sport they
to even
love.
get like gold and silver and everything. They didn't quite do that this year, but they swept the golds for sure. What do you think is their other ridiculously dominant event
China.
sport? Yeah,
I mean, shooting.
that's a good one. That actually, I didn't put that in the list because they are so dominant in these other things that like it would have registered for other countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got 5 golds, which that's crazy. Out of something, however, there's probably 10 to be had. So they did get a lot of them. But the next one I have is diving. You want to know what they did in
Oh,
diving?
yeah.
You
Wow.
want to know
Okay.
what
I
they
mean,
did?
I probably scored some like 600 points. I know they showed something in watching some of the highlights, watching some of it
Yeah.
live. I feel like had some ridiculously high scores.
Yeah. They had some perfect scores, like synchronized diving. I watched a couple of them, these like, 14-year-old girls.
Yep.
Perfect scores, 10s. Literal 10, like
I mean,
across the board. Every single person said you cannot do better. And they did it like multiple times. And the best anyone else was doing was like 9s or something. They won all the golds.
in diving.
Yes, there's 8
Okay.
events. I don't
That's
know what they all are. They got all of them.
yeah. I mean that is a monumental feat. And again, I think surprising in the fact that no other country, was able to snag one of those medals, one of those golds.
Yeah, I don't know what the total medal counts look like. Maybe someone else was second best, but yeah, I like there's it's them and it's everyone else, and them against the world, they destroy the rest of the world in that.
Yeah.
And that was the first time it was a sweep. I know they've been dominant in that for many years. I've definitely seen them over the years, but it's the first time they swept everything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're also very good in weightlifting.
Okay.
This one also shocked me a bit. 5 out of the 10 gold medals.
Weightlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably male and female, right? Men and women.
So.
I think. Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Because there was one lady I saw, and maybe China, and they had like 2 different things you had to do. You had to do the clean and jerk and the snatch.
And snatch.
And they added like the weight together, right, to get a total weight. I don't know what the number was, ridiculous in terms of kilograms lifted. I can't fathom lifting that much.
Yeah, it's crazy. And one hilarious stat just to end, this little portion that I have. Where, what do you think was China's one gold medal in athletics? I will tell you, they
Okay.
are nowhere near a powerhouse in athletics. But if they
You
got
say
one
gold
gold medal,
medal.
yeah, if they got one, what do you think they took that in?
You know what? They had to have taken that in the shot put.
Nope, the 20K race walk.
Oh, my favorite race.
That's the
Wow.
only athletics event they could hang their hat on. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that's pretty funny.
Well, you know what? You led me into an interesting segment. I had a few
Yeah.
other medal, just quick tidbits, but you mentioned race walking, and
Okay.
I know people have some doubts. Is it really an event? Like, are they walking? Are they actually running and just getting away with it? It's fast. I mean, it's interesting to watch it, and I do think sometimes they do look like they're running and not necessarily walking very fast. But for the first time since 1904, the U.S. actually had not had a race walker in the Olympics. And I bring it up because
Oh.
you and I talked a few episodes ago. I was super excited because there was a 58-year-old grandma that finished third in the Olympic trials for the U.S. in race walking. Like, we had our own trials. What happens is, I think in certainly most events, there is like a threshold. So there's an Olympic like qualifying time you have to hit.
Yeah.
The US team, both men's and women's, did not hit that.
Oh, nobody got it.
Then
Okay.
it goes to world rankings. And the US team is ranked, I think they said 30th or
Mm-hmm.
like 30, somewhere in the 30s for race walking. And thus, after you had all the time qualifiers and then you worked down the world ranking, the US was not high enough to actually send any race walkers to the Olympics. So even though I thought this woman, like, she finished third in the trials, in many events that would be enough to go to the Olympics, we did not have a race walker in the Olympics since 1904.
Wow.
It
Okay.
just
Yeah, that's a good stat. Yeah, I did not know that at all. Yeah, good one. I mean, have you ever seen anybody training race walking? You ever seen it out at a track, out at a park? I have not seen it once in my life ever.
no, I haven't seen anybody train and try and do race walking. I have done it like once or twice just around a pool. We did it on vacation. Like, a few of us did it on vacation to try and like imitate it, and it actually like hurt your hips. Probably were doing it wrong too. I did get sucked into some of like the world championships a few years back and watched probably an hour plus of the race walking world championships because I thought it was so interesting. They did it in Doha one year and they did it close to midnight because it was so warm, and just it was an interesting spectacle because they have penalty boxes, and if you cheat, they will put you in that penalty box for a certain amount of time. Yeah, interesting sport.
I would say the two sports that are socially unacceptable here in the U.S. and would explain why we have no representation: race walking and field hockey, men's field hockey.
Yeah. Did we even have a team?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not. So yeah, I would call them completely socially unacceptable. I don't hold that belief myself, but
Sure.
go out to a park and try to do those things and see what happens. Go to Central Park and do that and see what happens. Like, so that probably explains a lot of it.
That's fair. I have a couple medal just final facts, and then love to hear some more of your analysis and what you did.
Yeah.
So just on Ireland, I thought was interesting. They didn't have any silvers. They had 4 golds, and they had 7 total medals, but no silver.
Oh wow!
Which was it. So, wow. And then Brazil.
I know they won some swimming medals, right? I know they had a couple good swimmers.
Yes, and I think Ireland, didn't they have a good track like relay team? Didn't they finish maybe third?
I think they did. Yeah, yeah. I don't think they won it. Yeah, something like a bronze. Yeah.
And then for Brazil, I thought was interesting. They had 20 medals and only 3 gold. So they had 7
Oh,
silver,
they
10
have one of the
bronze.
worst gold percentages.
Yeah. Yeah, just relatively speaking. I mean, very dominant country. You know, you think track and field, certainly. I think surprisingly, maybe not, not as many golds relative to all the medals they won, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Um,
Yeah, I can't think of too many gold medals for them. I know Andrade got one of them in gymnastics, right? That floor routine.
see, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
only one I can think of. I don't know if I can
yeah.
even think of others that they got. So yeah.
No. And then of the top 10 national Olympic committees, they won those 10 national Olympic committees, US, China, France, etc. 66% of all golds and then 58% of all total medals. So
Wait, who did that?
the top 10
Oh, top 10.
national,
Okay,
top
gotcha.
10
Top
like
10. Yeah.
countries, if you will,
Okay.
won
Okay.
66% of the golds, 58% of the total medals.
Okay. Gotcha.
Again, not, I don't say not surprised. Like, it's just that is
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah,
yeah.
actually, I would almost think it might be slightly higher if I had to guess, because top 10 is like, yeah, I mean that gets into like France near 10 or someone like that, right? It's all these dominant countries.
Yeah. An interesting fact on the medals though, 90 so the gold medals are 98.8% silver.
That's funny.
It blows my mind. I think you have the best people in the world, competing in what is arguably like the best of the best is in the Olympics. And you have these gold medals and 98.8% of it, 99% of this is silver. It's not even
Well, I mean,
gold.
if they were made out of pure gold, jeez.
Put it in the budget, I just no, I think
They probably cost 12,000 a piece to make them or something like that.
yeah, maybe that's me just assuming they should be gold medals, but for those who
I don't think it's practical. I think it has to be just gold plated. I'm actually even surprised they're made out of silver. I would have guessed like nickel or something really.
So the bronze is like the bronze is a combination of like copper. They said a tin. I swear it says tin on this. Like, just interesting. So okay, fine. That's what the bronze medal is made out of. Why settle for a bronze? Go get the gold.
That's the one that's falling apart. Right?
That's the one that's falling apart. Yeah,
they're having issues with that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
And now quiz time for you. So there was one podium sweep. So there was one country that swept the podium in one event at the Olympics. Can you name it? And can you name the country? If you could do either of those,
it only happened once.
Only happened once.
Whoa.
I don't know how often it happens, actually. So only happened once.
Whoa. That is a very good question. I'm thinking through. I'm eliminating things. Like, I don't think it happened anywhere in track. There was too many upsets, right? There was, I don't believe there was weird results.
Yeah. It is the only clue I will give you. It's a country we talked about, but it's a sport that we have not talked about yet.
Oh, okay. That's a good help. I don't think it's possible to happen in something like, let's say, badminton, or, I mean, I know we talk table tennis, but like those sports, I don't believe it's even possible. You would have had to face each other and knock each other out, something, right? Like, it just can't even happen. Yeah, it's got to be something where it's like you're just coming in at the best times. I'll just guess, like or rowing or something like that.
I mean, I think you're headed towards the right track. BMX bike.
Oh, I saw that. France.
Yeah.
I watched that. Oh God, I should have come up with that.
They swept the podium.
Yeah, I saw it. That was fun. I
did not see it.
It's awesome to watch. Those guys are great. Yeah, it's really fun.
Was that the one that's like BMX, like cross, where you've got 5-10 people cycling at once, or is this just okay? That's what it is.
Maybe
Got it.
Yeah. It's like maybe 8 at a time, and
Okay.
you're all at the gate.
Yeah.
You get down, and you're going over these hills.
So so France took that. I'll watch that tonight. So I'm gonna go take a look at that.
It's really good. It's really fun to watch. I'd highly recommend that. Yeah.
Awesome. So that was a podium sweep. And then for just generally last sort of like medal type thing I have. So swimming and gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm reading this wrong. There obviously are top athletes that won the most medals. They're in the top athletes that won. There's 5 medals is the most, then 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 and 4 were only won by swimming and gymnastics.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe it makes sense when you think of it, but
almost always tends to be that way. That's almost always how it goes. Those are by far the easiest sports to win lots of medals.
And Phelps, right? He won 8. So I mean I could kind of, but I didn't.
Golds.
Yeah, I didn't really compute that, but yeah, I thought that was interesting that you had to get to 3 medals for an athlete to be in other disciplines.
Another sport.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very, very hard. I mean, let's take like Usain Bolt, right? When he was winning, he did 100, 200, 4x1. I think that's it.
Yeah, there's no other.
He did that like 3 straight Olympics, which is absolutely ridiculous. But there's just, what else is he going to win? The 400? On a whim, he could be in the 4x4 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But they're not going to beat the U.S. first of all. But he realistically, that's the only other one that would be realistic. The other sports just, it's not realistic. Gabby Thomas did 3.
She did.
Right? 200, 4x4, 4x1.
Yeah. Yep. 3 golds.
Yeah, and that's fairly unusual. Even
that was a great Olympics for her.
That would have been the rare case. Like that would have been super, super rare. Let's say if they won that. If she won the 100, but it isn't. She's not. She didn't even make the team for that.
Yeah. Yep. Now, what do you got next? What do you want to hit on?
So I have most dominant athletes / teams in these Olympics. People who just completely tore up their competition. Okay. So I will just start listing them. Yeah, I'll list some. I'll list some of the individuals. I might have you guess like one of the teams or something, or I'll try. I'll make a quiz out of one of these things. But I will start. The first one I marked down was just Amit Ilor.
Yes.
USA wrestler.
Yes. I know, like, I did not know her name at all until like the Olympics started. I don't even know her name beforehand, but from what I heard and saw, just incredible in terms of, her skill and I think just dominance is
freight train. I don't know the historical context quite enough of wrestling. Oh, I know. I remember hearing a few things. But 149-pound class, she gave up 2 points. And I guess, most people don't know the scoring system or anything. And it is a weird scoring system. They've changed it over time. Mm-hmm. I don't fully understand it. I didn't go and like read all the rules of, exactly how the scores are. It looks like whatever. I don't know. An average match might be something like 5-3. Sometimes you see big points. You do occasionally see 14-2. Somebody crushed somebody.
Because isn't a pin? Is it 2 points?
That's just an instant win.
Oh, it's an instant. Okay,
pin.
Okay.
That's the special. That's very rare.
Okay.
That's when you just completely own somebody and it's just over. That's the end of the match.
Fair enough.
But yeah, if you completely dominated somebody, it could be 10-0, 10-1, that kind of score, 12-0, 12-1. And an average is, you're grinding out a 3.2, a 5.3, a 5.4. You know, those are like average
Yes.
kind of things, right? She lost 2 points in her first match in the round of 16, I think it was called. And she didn't give up another point the rest of the way.
No, that's dominating. You learn
10-0s,
whatever mistakes, right? That you had.
10-0s, 8-0s.
Wow.
9-0. And I think I'm pretty yeah. You know what it was? I think that first round might have been her hardest opponent. I remember hearing that was like the returning gold medal champion.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that. That was a long time ago. I just heard it one time as I was watching, you know, the events, but I'm pretty sure that opponent was the returning gold medalist, and she beat her like 8-2 or something like that. That was her close match.
Okay.
Or 6-2, or, you know, dominated her. And just bageled everyone else the rest of the way. So that's a crazy dominant performance.
Awesome. No, I think
we didn't dominate that much.
Like, not in wrestling,
thing, right?
Yeah.
And these are the interesting ones. Oh, this was an interesting point. Some of these extreme dominations happen from countries that didn't do that well. I mean, whatever you want to say. We only had 2 gold medals. Yeah.
In wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think our wrestling, 2 gold medals. We had 7 total. We only had 2 gold. So one of those was like possibly the most dominant athlete in the entire Olympics.
Wow.
So interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one.
I love it.
Another one, Chinese swimming.
Okay.
They did not dominate in swimming, right? That is not one of their events where they crushed everybody.
But did they have 1 or 2?
Count. Wait a minute. What is this? Hold on. Oh, the wrong country. There we go. Yeah. 2 gold medals, 12 total.
But wasn't those 2 from the guy? Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's where I'm going here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had the most, I would say, the most dominant swimming performance that I saw in the Olympics. I could be wrong. Maybe Katie Ledecky did something crazy, or you know, whoever, somebody did something crazy. But him winning the 100 meters by more than a second. That's a sprint.
So 2 lengths of the pool, and to win by a second.
It's an all-out sprint. The only thing shorter is the 50. So, it's the equivalent of, I would call it the equivalent of the 100 meters in track. That's what it's literally 100 meters versus 100 meters. But I would call it or you call it the equivalent of 200. Yeah, double it. It's equivalent of 200. And he won by a full second against the best of the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. Like if I show, I'll share this for a second, right? If I show you the breakdown of like the other, where everyone else was on that. Okay, here we go. See this?
Yeah. Okay.
So if you look at everyone else, it's like a half a second separates last place from silver.
Yeah.
100 separates silver from bronze. Another 100 goes down to 4th.
I mean, so super close from second to 8th. I mean, honestly, close.
Touch. Yeah, less than a second, and then he is a second ahead of.
Just in another, yeah.
So it just shows you like a second is not normal at all. That's the main point there, and that's how he won. And it was a world record. It's one of the few world records in these Olympics.
Wow.
So that was just a ridiculously dominant performance.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay.
Lay it on me. The world wants to know what else you got. Yeah.
This is an obvious one. I mean, probably the most widely known, I would say, maybe in the U.S. for sure. Sydney McLaughlin.
Yes.
400 hurdles.
Yeah.
Won by a full second and a half. She took the world record down to 50.37. She's almost breaking 50 seconds.
Which is a fast time for the 400 meter flat for women. That's a great time.
The 8th place finisher in the world in that race, in the final of the 400 flat had I think it was a 49.9. So she was right on the heels of that person who made it to the finals and was competitive.
Yes.
In the final. Yeah.
And you throw in 10 hurdles, along the way.
She did that with hurdles along the way. She absolutely crushed everybody. We thought Femke Bol was going to make a race out of it. I have another share here. This is equally sort of the breakdown similar. It's hard for me to pick who crushed their opposition more. Anna Cockrell, great race. I think that might be a PR for her. I don't believe she's gone into that time.
No, I remember her running. Gosh, did she go to 54? Like she went to school, I think LSU. She went to an SEC school.
No. She was USC.
You're right. She's USC.
Yeah, Michael Norman, her, and Rye Benjamin. I think they were all there. Yeah. Femke Bol was supposed to compete, right? She had a 50.9. They did say that was at high elevation. I think she ran in Kenya or something like that. And so they think that might have had a sort of unfair advantage. So they don't. But she wasn't herself. I mean, you watched the race.
Yeah,
she was not herself. I mean, she can definitely do better than that. She's a phenomenal athlete, but Sydney destroyed the world. I mean, you see everyone else is sort of clustered. I guess this girl didn't do so well, just in comparison to these elite people. But everyone else was fairly close. Well, not that close, but she was farther away.
She dominated. Sydney dominated. Absolutely.
Yeah. Total destruction. So I thought that was interesting. The next one up in domination, Léon Marchand.
Yeah.
France, swimming. Holding court at home. He won all 4 individual events that he competed in and set an Olympic record in each one.
I mean, that is a dominating performance.
Yeah. He won by comfortable margins. He won the 400 IM by 6 seconds. The one he was up against the world record holder in the butterfly 100 or 200 or something. He only won that by 0.2 or something like that. But whatever. That's sort of the one exception. The others, they were all comfortable margins. They were a full second, that kind of thing, or multiple seconds. So absurdly dominant.
I think that's, and I didn't know too much about him before the Olympics, to be honest. I guess that's where
I started hearing about him as we're going into the Olympics. I didn't know about him prior. But real deal. I mean, swimming god out of these Olympics.
I would say, I think if I actually even know how to swim in the water, maybe there's a little more of that. I mean, I'll admit swimming, we talked about baseball earlier. Swimming is just not I like watching it, especially Olympics, World Championship. I'll get into it, but outside of that, I don't know much of the storylines.
I competed in it growing up for 4 years, so I know what good times are. So I can appreciate the times.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it for me. And the times are just beyond outrageous. Okay, volleyball. Where do you think I'd be going in volleyball? There's a decent quiz for you.
I'm gonna say most consecutive sets won without a loss, or some. I know that's a weird way to say it, but
that actually is this. I don't know. Well, I don't know the historical statistic, but that is what I'm addressing here. So that's interesting. I guess.
Okay, yeah, I'm just thinking this team that, let's say, won has not lost a set in 30 sets. I don't know, something like that.
That number's too high, but that is the stat that I have. They won without dropping a set. So each match goes 3 sets.
Yeah.
So do you know who did that?
The U.S. women won. Maybe they didn't win. I don't know. Shoot, I could not tell you the names.
Okay. Italy women's.
Oh, in indoor volleyball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which I think is a way better sport than beach. It's so much more dynamic. the sand like slows people down. I'd rather see people performing at peak, which is indoor. People jumping the highest, people spiking the hardest.
The
That's what I like.
serves on either side. I mean, the men's serves are crazy. The
Yeah.
women, I saw a good chunk of that match, and they just outplayed us.
U.S. was good at first, and then Italy just each set they just turned it on, and we just couldn't touch them. They're just too good. They're too talented. They're loaded. They didn't drop a set. Awesome team, really good. I watched a good amount of them. Dominant. U.S. women's gymnastics. I think that's sort of an obvious one. Just the team all around. I could not put Simone Biles there in her all around. She didn't completely dominate. Well, she won by like 2 points, which is a lot, but it's not on this level of ones that I was looking for.
Yeah.
It wasn't landslides. But I thought U.S. won in a landslide, so we had 171 points. Italy had 165 in second place, and then Brazil had 164.4 in third place in bronze. So you could see like, okay, a point separating them. We're 6 points out in front of silver.
So yeah, the women's team really just they did well all around. Is what you're saying.
In the all-around competition, they have that all-around team. I thought we dominated.
And I watched it, and not all of it. I think I watched part of the final for that, and then like you said, they had the individual pieces as well that I think went after the team event. And was watching a little bit of that. Interesting, and we talked about like that in the last episode with the whole Jordan Childs and the bronze medal. But I mean, it fun to watch. I will say the gymnastics was definitely fun to watch. I did not catch. I don't think I caught anything about rhythmic gymnastics.
I have no idea. I've watched some of that some other times. I didn't watch 1 minute of that this time. Okay, my last really dominant performance. This has been the case for 5 years. Mondo Duplantis, pole vault.
Yeah, and go for it.
He won the event by a full foot. Set the world record for. You want to guess that? How many times has he set the world record?
All right,
9.
Okay,
this was the 9th time he's done it. Again, he had a bar height of 6.25 meters, which is like 20.5 feet. Second place was 5.95 meters, which is like 19.5 feet. So like a literal.
Yeah, and it's at the Olympics. Yeah, a foot. To be a foot ahead of second place.
Yeah, and the next guy down is like 5.90, another 5.90, a 5 point. Like everyone else is competing in that range, and he is like way into the sixes. Like it's just, he could very well be the most dominant athlete in the world right now.
I mean,
in Olympic type sports.
And I think he probably has a little bit room to go in terms of he probably can elevate that world record too.
That's the thing. I think he's strategically milking it a little bit, which is smart. Because you just keep setting world records. You get bonuses and things like that for like Diamond League events. He could probably just pop up to like 635 or something like that, but he's choosing to just kind of eke it up. Like I think it's smart. But yeah, he could. He's had clearances that were well beyond like what the world record is. So, crazy.
He's awesome. Yeah, and just fun to watch. I think he feeds off the energy from the crowd.
Yeah,
and
he's fun.
Typically, I know even when the World Championships, right? I feel like they left him at the end.
Oh,
Mondo,
I think they do that quite a bit, actually. Yeah, because the world record's going to be attempted, pretty much.
Exactly. Leave the crowd with something really excited to talk about.
Another fun fact there: we could have arguably been gold, silver in that event because the guy was born and raised, spent his whole life in the U.S.
Yeah,
does not, from what I hear, spends very little time in Sweden. His mom was Swedish originally. He is fully American. Went to LSU.
Yeah.
Not there's it's he's fully American. The story I heard, the reason he competes there is because his dad is his coach,
Okay.
and
But his
like
mom's Swedish.
yeah. But what I heard is, and they're more forgiving on like the system, like the system here would have wanted like to have the elite U.S. coach coaching him.
He didn't want that.
He wanted his dad, who's
Yeah.
clearly the best coach in the world.
Yeah.
So
And
I think that is one of the
interesting.
biggest reasons. Yeah, I just found that out recently. I never knew that reasoning.
Yeah, that's. I mean, but like you said, I think it's if you have a good vibe, obviously, your dad, family, great, to be able to coach you at that level. And it sounds like the U.S., to your point, they have a team coach. If you don't like it, at least he was able to get some sort of, I'll call it second pass.
Yeah,
in
it's
Sweden.
like I think I don't know how it works exactly, but I guess maybe you work your way through the system and you get to you get through the team trials and you're one of those top 3 in all the various sports, and now that's your coach. No, I don't think that's the case. People keep their own coaches even, right, all the way through the Olympics and everything.
So like usually, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but I heard I heard that though.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because there are some other storylines where there are people. I know in the 3x3 and the women's 3x3 basketball, there was a lady or 2 ladies that were playing for Azerbaijan that they didn't look like they were from Azerbaijan.
They were American.
Yeah,
I think they're American, right? Or they're in the WNBA. I know that.
Yes, and there's some sort of like asylum's not the right word, but they have ties to Azerbaijan for one reason or another, and you are able to play for Azerbaijan. I don't know if I necessarily
make
agree.
The U.S. team.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
I think they wouldn't have made it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I remember like hearing who they were, and I was like, nah, that's not. None of them are better than anybody who's on the U.S. team. Yeah. Okay.
I've got a few other fun facts.
Okay.
About the Olympics here.
Yep.
Let's no particular order. We got Djokovic finally completed some people call it the career tennis Grand Slam.
Don't they call that the Golden Slam?
Maybe. You're probably right.
I think they call that a Golden Slam.
So you win all the 4 world majors, and then you also win the Olympic gold.
I don't think I even realized that he won it. Okay.
And he was trying. So apparently this was his 4th Olympics.
Wow.
And he never won gold in the Olympics.
Wow.
So that's
another one. I just very rarely follow it for Olympics. It's another one where it's just like there's always
because it happens all the time, right?
Yeah, it's nothing special about it for me. So yeah, I watch tennis too. It's just it's another one I just don't need in the Olympics.
I like it. Todd's Olympics will have these 10 sports. I think that'd be a fun kind of way to do it if we had to rank like what would our top 10 sports be if we had our own Olympic.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not this episode exactly.
Yeah, at some point we'll have to touch on that. That would be fun at some point in the future. Okay.
We'll do that. The Mijane Lopez. Does that name sound familiar to you?
No.
All right, I'm going to say the other 5 straight golds.
Oh, that's that Cuban guy.
Yeah.
In the judo? Is it judo?
Close, yeah. Greco-Roman wrestling. So like,
Oh, it's wrestling.
Okay. Now Greco-Roman, again, different style. I'm thinking versus some of the wrestling, the U.S. woman that won. Yeah.
I think freestyle is like better to watch. I forget. I don't know that many rules of wrestling, but I think the freestyle is like better to watch. Something really weird about Greco-Roman. It's like really restrictive in some way, but yeah, okay.
But he had won 5 straight golds, and after winning his 5th straight gold, put down his robe, essentially said, "I'm done." Passing the torch. I thought was really.
Yeah, don't they put their sneakers in or something like their shoes in?
Yes.
Yeah, in the ring. Yeah.
Very cool. Like, just
That's
you know
cool.
What? That's a great career. That's just
cool.
awesome.
I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, 5 in a row is crazy. Okay.
Absolutely. Then we also have the youngest and oldest Olympians. Not sure if you're aware of this, because I mean, there's obviously a lot.
Or just competitor.
I have both.
Okay, yeah, I know a skateboarder was 14 years old and won a gold medal.
Yes, Arissa True from Australia.
Yeah, I did.
Or Arisa. Yeah, she did win. She won in skateboarding. She was 14. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Oldest, I don't know.
So the oldest one that won a medal was Laura Kraut from the U.S. She won in a team equestrian event, and she's 58.
Okay.
So, yep.
Right? Yeah.
And then the actual youngest and oldest to compete in the Olympics. Again, I think it just shows, not just like, age doesn't matter. Like, if you're good at a skill, maybe, in another country, you might not be as skilled, as if you were in a different country in a certain event, fine. But I think it shows if you put your mind to it, it can happen. So there was another skateboarder from China, Zhang Hao, turned 12 on the closing ceremony day. So he was 11 during most of the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then the oldest person was 65 and also competed in equestrian. He was from Spain. Wow. 65. And
okay, equestrian is sort of, I would call it a little bit of a loophole. Like, they're sort of not really the athlete, right? It really is the horse is the athlete.
That does bring up a question. Goes back to my love of NASCAR and just thinking that they are athletes. And then my best friends, my Penn State crew, they vehemently deny that they are athletes. Like, the car is the athlete and they are not athletes. So I don't necessarily agree with that statement from them. So again, I actually do think I will say that if the Olympics considers it a sport, these are all athletes. We'll see.
Yeah,
So
I can give you that. Yeah, it's just like the fact that a 65-year-old could be one of the best. Well, okay, I don't know where they finished, right? But a 58-year-old actually won something. The fact that that's even possible tells me, it's definitely a different category than track, swimming. It's a different category. You can still call it an athlete. It's a different kind of athlete for sure.
Okay. So the last one in terms of like athletes here, I think this is really just a amazing stat. I love it. So there is one person who has made the most consecutive Olympics in this field of 10,500 athletes. One of them has competed in the Olympics 10 times. I don't expect you to get the name.
I think I know this one.
Okay.
See, I didn't watch enough gymnastics this year to know, like, to have seen her.
Okay.
There's a vaulter from like Romania or something who's been doing it since she was like 15, and she was like 54 or something at the last Olympics.
Okay.
And was on the team, was on the vaulting team, vaulting in the Olympics at like 54.
Yeah.
Is that the person?
Is not the person that I've written down. So
is this an equestrian?
No, this is a different sport. It's not not in athletics.
Shooting?
Shooting sport. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So so either way, Nino Salikvadze is from the country of Georgia.
Okay.
and has competed in 10 Olympics going back to Seoul 1988. She actually took gold. She won in that event, or the event she was in 1988. She has progressively gotten worse, though in Rio, she had a surprisingly she finished in the top, I think, 15. She finished like 38th or 40th in shooting this year in air pistol, but she has competed in 10 Olympics.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that being possible, especially if you're in a country where that sport's not popular.
Yeah,
I can easily see that. Yeah, that one is not that shocking, actually. There's that dude from Turkey too, who was one of the most memes.
Yeah.
Yusuf Durkic, I think his name was. He just stepped up with the
just very casually.
Yeah, hand in the pocket.
I love it. I love it.
I think he's been at it a long time. He was like 51 or something. So yeah.
I also have just one sport that I wanted to just share with you to get your thoughts on and get people's thoughts, right? Please, if you're listening to this again, comment on what you thought was interesting about the medals, about just some of the sports and our athletes we've shared, maybe what we didn't share yet. This sport, I think, doesn't get a lot of love, but just interesting to watch it all come together. The modern pentathlon.
Oh.
Do you know anything about it?
I know there's horses involved, which shocked me because I saw it on the lineup and I'm like, oh wow, there's another track that I forgot about.
Yep.
And I was all excited for that, and I turned it on and I
turned it off.
I'll say I hate those. Those might be my least favorite sports in the entire Olympics. I don't know why. I just really, really dislike those for some reason.
So the modern pentathlon is 5 events in no particular order: fencing, swimming, horse riding, pistol shooting, and then running. That is the so to me, this is a Jack or Jill of all this is fun. This is a different level of athlete. So the fencing is like your
about this.
It's your traditional, I'll call it fencing. I think it's called épée.
Yeah.
Where that's what it is. I can't really explain it too much. I don't know how to do it, but it's like a round robin style fencing event they have. Then they do a swimming event where it's a 200-meter freestyle. Go nuts. 200-meter freestyle. Now, the best part about this, Todd, was this was not done in like the Olympic pool where a lot of the other swimming events were. This was done in some sort of like remote field in France where they had their own makeshift pool and it was only 25 meters long. This is crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I just thought it was really interesting. You have to find it because it's just this pool.
I turned it on and there were horses and I said, I'm out. It was 3 seconds I watched.
Yeah.
I just don't watch those. I just thought the whole thing was something with horses. And I just wasn't interested at all. I couldn't have told you any of that. That's stunning. I can't believe how little I know about that. That's the least I've ever known about.
Yeah. And they have horse riding. So to your point, it's kind of like dressage where they have to go over certain jumps. So that's event 3.
Terrible.
And then the 4th and 5th events are now combined into what they call the, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on it, laser run. I thought that was cool. I like that name, but it is a combination of pistol shooting and running. So what they do for the final event, if you will, is they combine these two together. They have a 3,000-meter run that is in a road course type field.
Oh,
and in between that, they do shooting at a 10-meter distance from a target.
Oh, so yeah, it's like that. They have this in the Winter Olympics. It's that
like a biathlon. Yeah.
Is that what they call it? Biathlon? They're cross-country skiing.
Yeah,
and
the shooting.
So it's like you're out in the tundra, hunting deer.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one is pretty cool because this event, they had the 3,000-meter run, and I think it was 3 laps. So 1,000-meter lap, and at a certain point you have to stop and go shoot at this target. You have to hit it 5 times or 50 seconds, whatever comes
I've never
first.
known less about a sport.
So
this is the least I've ever known about a sport.
Okay. And yeah, France actually was in the top 3. I think they finished with the medal here. So that just interesting. So if you knew nothing about the modern pentathlon, it is a combination of those 5 events.
That's stunning. Did not know that existed. Okay.
So yeah, I just figured I'd share that because I thought it was pretty interesting.
Okay.
I'll do the shooting and the running. I would like to try that and see how steady my hands are. You know, we did a little archery session the other weekend. So
yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Maybe I'll have a bow and arrow on my back, go running and see.
Wow. That's okay.
What do you got?
I have a set of craziest / funniest / most unfortunate stories that came out.
Yeah, why don't we? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay, so one of my craziest. I'll start with one of the more serious ones among this group. Sifan Hassan. We didn't say a whole lot about it, right?
We haven't.
10K bronze medal, 5K bronze medal, marathon. Let me just go get a gold at the end after everything.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. She did a similar thing last Olympics.
It's incredible. I mean, I love Sifan Hassan. I think she's got great attitude, like great energy.
Unbelievable. Yeah, she's like funny on the mic and everything. She won the 10 and the 5 last Olympics. I think I'm correct on that, Tokyo. And then second place behind only Faith Kipyegon in the 1500. So
amazing range.
Ridiculous. So instead of going down to that shorter 1500 again, she goes up to the marathon
and wins it.
And wins it. Yeah. After doing all that other stuff.
Yeah.
She had like a day off. I think she had 1 day off after finishing the 10K final, and then runs the marathon and wins it. You saw the crazy sprint at the end.
Yeah. Yep. And
against, I think it was against the girl who has the world record. I'm pretty sure. Tigist Asefa. I'm pretty sure she did that against.
I know she did Ethiopian. She kind of pushed.
Yeah. I think that's who she was up against. Like that is not like, some fluke person was that was like, you could say the best marathoner, or you could say Sifan Hassan is the best marathoner. But crazy. So that's in my crazy category.
I think Olympic record. I think on the women's marathon.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was
just
2 hours 22 minutes. I think it was. Yeah, I think it's an Olympic record.
Yeah.
And it was a hard course, right? I think it wasn't it agreed that it was a hard course? Like
nobody
was going to get anywhere near world records.
No, they've got that. They had a nasty climb right around mile 20.
Marathons are like that. There's certain marathons that have a chance. They're not all made the same at all. Yeah. Some have a chance of breaking a world record, like Boston, right? Valencia. There's some like that. And there's other ones like this that. Berlin. There's others that just have no chance. They are much slower. This was a slower course, and she put up a crazy time.
Yeah, spectacular.
Okay, so that's one. I mean, unbelievable. Do you know the name Anthony Ammirati?
I want to get to know Anthony. I know Anthony Aramus. I don't know. No, I don't know.
This is the French pole vaulter who. Got knocked out because his package knocked the bar down.
Yes, that ended up being a fun meme or just thing to have that happen.
I mean that's hilarious. Good for him. I mean, if you're gonna lose, that's what people are saying. Like, it's the best possible way that anyone's ever lost an event. We already talked. I had breakdancing in here. I mean, you have to mention it. I don't want to, but you just have to mention Ray Gunn from Australia.
Yeah.
That was sort of
unfortunate. Just
unfortunate. Yeah.
Because there was it took away. There were some actually skilled performances when you watch the finals.
Yeah, they're just completely overshadowed. Like no one's ever gonna remember one instant of any of that because
that's right.
Yeah, just totally dwarfed by
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Noah Lyles, I would say he's sort of an unfortunate story. So, we know he won the 100 meters.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, too, unbelievable race, right? The insane photo finish of that race.
Yes.
And he came
And
back from last place at the 40-meter mark and won
he
it.
was down and is known for like a slower start, but to come back to really push at the end,
Yeah.
like you said, photo finish,
I
it
don't
was
think
really
he had a
exciting.
Yeah, I don't think he had a terrible start for himself. I think he had a pretty normal start. I think a lot of people had good starts, and he did his normal Noah Lyle things and he reeled them in. I don't think he was leading that race till it might be accurate to say the last step.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think
yeah,
that's
so
fair.
that was
Yep.
really exciting. That was an awesome. I mean, and so many people across the line. I mean, last place I think had like a 9.91. They were gunning it out at 9.78, right? 9.79. I think it was 9.79.
979 ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Kishane like
Yep.
battling out that with
Yep.
that time, and then everyone else was in between that. It was crazy. And then the hugely unfortunate part, he had COVID we watched the 200-meter race happen. And he was up against Let's See Lady Tobogo, who's awesome, right? Just unbelievable.
Yep.
Botswana, really young guy from Botswana, who he's beaten. He's beaten. Well, he's beaten every time. I mean, Noah Lyles hasn't lost the 200 meters in forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and he wasn't himself. Like there's no denying. I mean, he was not himself on that race, that 200-meter final. We find out after that he had COVID for 2 days. He ran a 19.75 or something like that. That's way off his personal best.
Yep. He can do better.
Yeah, he definitely could do better. I would have loved to see both those guys healthy because Tobogo had an incredible time. 19.46.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, that's PR for him.
Yeah, you're now a little over a tenth away from Noah Lyles' best time. So he had an unbelievable race. There's no guarantee at all that Noah Lyles would have beat him, but I would have loved to see a healthy Noah Lyles. So maybe we get that in the Diamond League. I hope.
Yeah, it'd be fun to now
season, maybe
somewhere. Exactly close out the season with some good performances and see some fun matchups again from the track.
Yeah, and he also didn't compete in the 4x1, so just terrible end to Lyle's Olympics. Unbelievably good start with the 100 win, but terrible back half, like out of his control. Not his fault at all.
Yeah,
but he's just really unlucky. Okay, yeah. And then one other story, definitely in the unfortunate category. Jordan Childs, bronze medal, loss, win, loss. Maybe it goes back to a win. I don't know where it's going to land.
Yeah,
everyone knows this story.
It shouldn't happen like this. And you work so hard during an event, and for it to be questioned, the medal and to I'll call it question it at the time. It sounds like that's, I'll say, normal protocol, but teams have done that in the past, fine. But for it to kind of like go down the way it has over the last week or two, that's where
did they say it happens fairly often? That was one of the questions I had. Is this a very rare thing, that you even contest it? Or it's fairly common.
So thank you for saying the right word, because I was like, I don't know, contesting. It seemed like we even did that in the 2012 Olympics with Allie Raisman, that she had
one time.
No, I feel like it's happened more than we think it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. It happens.
It's
something that happens. Okay.
But I think maybe even for the public, like we should even be shared, like when they're showing the news when they're broadcasting it, say, oh, there's a chance that it could be contested, because it doesn't seem like that happens in many of the track and field events. Especially on like a track where everybody's in their own lane. Generally speaking, you're in your own lane. It's what are you going to contest unless someone actually like elbows you out of the way? It sounds like in gymnastics it does happen more often, where you can contest a score, and maybe in like diving, something that's more subjective in nature is possible. Okay. I don't know. But yeah, I think to your point again, unfortunate, right? That was a headline that came up.
Super unfortunate.
Yeah,
just really bad luck.
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple bad luck stories there. Okay, I'll jump into this for a minute. I'll make this one fairly quick. I know we've been going a while, but I thought this was pretty interesting. So I started looking at like athletics world records.
Yeah,
right? I wanted to see how did these Olympics line up against that, or
absolutely,
just some observations about it, that sort of thing. So what I took out of it, one of the things I took is it's really interesting if you actually total up the world records that different countries have.
Okay.
I'm pretty. You know what? I'll say I'm shocked. So I counted indoor, and I also counted like half marathon, which is it's a little shaky. But I didn't include some of the things. Like I was telling you before, like I don't know, 1,000 meters indoor. It's so rarely contested. There was something like the 50K road course, some things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to weed out some stuff. Yeah, you can't take all those events. But when I filtered out like what I call wacky and would never be in the Olympics, whatever.
Sure.
Do you want to take a guess at which country was number one for world records? Start with women. Sorry, broken down. I broke down by like country and men versus women. So
and
that's how
is this track and field? Is this anything Olympics?
Yeah. Just athletics. Just track and field. Women
world records.
Yeah, you could say country.
Russia. USSR.
Great guess. Yeah, I combined those two. Actually, I should have mentioned that. I combined Russia and USSR. That's a very good guess.
Not the one.
Not the top. Yeah, I'll have you try.
See
if you can get the number one. The number one is way harder, which is funny.
They go two more.
Okay.
Czech Republic.
Okay, not so bad. I actually don't know their exact count, but they definitely do have some.
Because we're talking world records. I mean, the other one I was going to say. I mean, maybe I'm naive in saying U.S. Right? Like maybe
not
I should say.
Guess.
But
not
no.
a bad guess. Yeah. But not all the way up.
Germany.
Yeah. Germany's got some. I didn't total it up for everybody. I basically I think I have the top four.
Okay. Well,
yeah. So
did I hit any of them? Them in the top four.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Russia and USA. You got those.
Okay.
So number one, Ethiopia. Isn't that interesting?
I mean, totally
Yeah. Let me show you. I'll scan through for a sec. Right.
It's the track events. Like they probably even have the 3,000 meter steeplechase as well.
They don't. That's Kenya. But
okay.
Here, if you look at it, right? So 60 meter indoor. I did count that. So I gave that to Russia there. We got super premier, right? Flojo stuff here, 1 and 2. That's as premier as it gets. Jamaica 200. That's good. But yeah, there you go. The 400 Germany. That's
okay. Yeah, that's the one. That exactly.
Femke's got that indoor one, which I wonder if anybody could beat that. I don't know. But that's interesting. There's your Czech, right?
Yeah.
To Vileva, unbeatable record, or one of the longest standing records, and that 400 is ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't count something like this. Like I think I even counted this, but I wasn't counting this. That's a little too rare.
Yeah.
There you go. Kenya. So Faith has a couple.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Real events.
And then Ethiopia, like you were saying, that they're starting to come on.
I counted those. That's indoor. That's indoor 1,500. That's indoor mile. Ginzebi Dababa. I mean, she's fantastic. Gudaf Sagai, amazing. But let's say, I don't know, if Faith Kipyegon really made a run at those, she probably would beat both of those. I mean, to be honest. I counted this 3,000. There you go. Look at this. I mean,
the 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter. Yeah.
10,000 outside. Yeah. Gide. That one still holds.
Yeah. That's a great.
That's very legit. And then there was a couple more that was still, I think I counted. Yeah. I thought this was reasonable to count. That's in there.
Yeah. The road race, the half marathon.
Half marathon. I gave them. Gide. I forgot about that. And marathon. Yeah, I gave him that one. I didn't count this. I thought that was too obscure.
Yeah, Seifa, that's
That's
yeah, I mean
who Sifan Hassan was battling towards the end there, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, U.S. right? It's pretty amazing. If we didn't have FloJo, we wouldn't have a whole lot.
No, I mean the
We
relays we're good at.
Yeah, 4x2. I don't count that. That's very rarely contested. But I do count this 4x1. Russia's even got the 4x4 on the women's side.
Wow.
And then we have Jackie Jordan Kersey, and still in the heptathlon. And then we have Sydney.
Yeah, right.
And
those are your rock stars. I mean,
Sydney,
interesting.
FloJo,
So Ethiopia.
Yeah, Ethiopia.
Huh.
Yeah.
On
Almost hard to believe, right? But yeah, they're doing it.
Okay. And then you said that on the men's side. Okay.
On the men's side, yeah. You want to? Do you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, men. I mean, Jamaica.
No. Well, you know what's funny? I had a fun stat on that. Well, I had a fun stat on the men's side. It's all Usain Bolt. It's only Usain Bolt. That's it. So it's 100, 200, 4x1. And that is
all okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And even on the U.S. side, I mean, we've got the relays. We've got the relay world records.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say again. I think it's Kenya or Ethiopia.
It's U.S. I'll share for a second.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, I'll share for a sec. Yeah, these are not easy. These are not easy questions.
I would not have guessed that. Okay.
And if you look at the records, like, well, we know the Usain Bolt stuff. 09, most premier records probably that in existence. Van Niekerk 400.
Yeah.
800 Kenya Rudisha.
Yeah.
That's an awesome one. Oh, Hisham Garouge, right? Those are very legit. Morocco.
I mean, mile. Just incredible. Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. I mean, just unbelievable times. 2000, less contested. That's where Ingebrigtsen gets in there. 3000, Komen, Kenya again. Ethiopia. Yeah, I mean, they get in there, right? Ethiopia. I didn't count something like this. Well, maybe I should. Mile indoor. Maybe I should count that. But USA starts coming on. 60-meter hurdle, Grant Holloway. 110 hurdles, Aries Merritt.
See, I would not have known that he's got the world record right now in that.
Yeah. Warholm's got the 400 hurdle. It looks like Ethiopia's second. It's funny, you don't realize how much of a world dominant program they are until you start looking at this.
Yeah. We've got the long jump in here. We've got
long jump. Mike Powell. No one's close at. That's an interesting one. Nobody since that has been anywhere near that since 1991. Not even close. Ryan Krauser, shot put.
Yep, that makes sense.
The mile road. This was a kind of weird one. I don't know how, but Hobbs Kessler. A 356.
I mean, the road. Like I know a lot of the track athletes don't really like running on the road. And, to do the records, they end up doing it on the track. But that's where you see some of this 5-kilometer road is because it's not the 5,000 meters on a track. They do it differently. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I also counted this Kieran Clement 2005 in the 400 indoor. That's not bad. That's well contested. They run that a lot. And the 60 meters indoor. That's a legit record. Christian Coleman.
Yeah, it's fast. I mean, you could argue. Yeah, right. He beat Noah Lyons. Didn't Noah do a 60 at some point?
Yeah. I think he did beat him this year indoors. But yeah, that's a legit record. So yeah, that all that adds up to 7. I think Ethiopia might have like 5. I actually didn't count them. I should have counted up Ethiopia. I think it's like 5.
But okay. So US has got a little more. We'll call it dominance on the men's side. That's one where we have it, even with Usain coming in and rewriting all the sprints and stuff. Like, we still we hold our own there. Yeah, appreciate that. I think it's interesting, with the world records too. what went down in the Olympics, there were about 20-ish world records that fell. And interestingly enough, swimming, again, had a few records that were broken. Athletics, we saw, especially Sidney McLaughlin, had broken stuff. Track cycling had another 5, which is interesting. We spent no time talking about track cycling.
Equipment is a lot there, right? Aerodynamics and the new bike. They're always making new bikes and stuff. So it makes sense that it gets.
It's fast. The sport climbing, so the speed, basically a 50-foot wall, 15-meter tall wall, both on the women's and men's side. They broke the world record. And then your favorite event, the modern pentathlon, had some world records.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes, they did.
Okay. Oh, the only other thing I want to throw in, just, it's weird. Like, I was trying to understand, like, why does swimming constantly have all these records broken? Let's say compared to track, if you scan through it, like, you'll see much more recent dates in the swimming records. There's some that are still around for a little while, but a lot of them are very new.
Yeah.
And so I heard it's a combination of things. They said the lane dividers are better. They're better at stopping like big splashing from happening.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And they said that's one thing.
Believe that.
The pool design itself, it's better at like mitigating, again, like splashes and wakes being created. So all that like bouncy water slows people down. So they said, these are some of the things. And they said like biomechanics and studying like swim strokes and AI and all this stuff. And they're like, they've been developing some really weird swimming techniques and things like that. So they said that's a contributor.
Huh.
I didn't know about all this stuff. It's not even like about the super suits. Like I don't know that era. Like that was that Phelps era. There was super suits and everybody's breaking all the records just left and right. So apparently it's not that, it's other things. It's the pool itself, it's techniques. So I thought that was interesting.
That is, and fair enough. Again, swimming had almost a quarter of the records broken at this Olympics. Yeah, I mean, same thing with running. We've seen records go down. In terms of speed, and is it the shoes? Versus the actual human. I don't know. Certainly, the shoes definitely have progressed from where they were 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
I think long distance is the ones that go down all the time, right? But the sprinting and explosive sport stuff, they've been there a long time. Flojo's been there a long time. Bolt's there a long time at this point. Long jumps, both long jumps are ancient. Triple jump is very old, well, except the women's side, but there's a lot of stuff that's been there a long time.
Absolutely. So we'll see, where the world records break again soon. But just interesting stat, on the track side of things, and overall in the Olympics too. I think we covered it even in the last episode. I mean, there were 100 plus like Olympic records that were broken, at the time.
Wow.
But 22 world records this time around. So listen, people are getting faster. People are getting, I don't say taller. They're getting more efficient. Mondo's climbing higher stories. He's pole vaulting by higher, better. And, in terms of the modern pentathlon, possibly the best event ever, people are just getting faster at doing the that laser run. That was one of the world records that was broken.
Super quick mention. I will say one sort of fairly legendary record. I mean, it's not that legendary, but the 4x4 women's, they were very, very close.
They were a second off.
I think they were like 2/10.
Okay, so then
U.S. women,
almost
nipped that crazy Russian team from back in the those late '80s days where wink wink nod nod. But they were very close, and I would call that like a fairly iconic record. I mean, the average person wouldn't, but
you are right. They actually were just a 10th off.
Yeah,
so. That's a 10th off of that record. Yeah, so that record stands from 1988.
Yeah. I mean, crazy.
Well, we hope you've liked this Olympic sort of deep dive. There are sports where we didn't get a chance to talk about it, right? And we hear you, we get it. There were several just fun facts and tidbits just along the way that we kind of came across. If you have one that you want to share with people, please feel free to leave it in the comments and let us know.
If there's a super fan of a sport that we didn't talk about and they want to come out and like comment on that and stuff,
yeah,
we'll have this person on as a guest and we will devote a show to that person. if they're good at talking on a podcast.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Obscure sport that we'll have a whole episode with it.
Yeah, I mean the Olympics, everything. People have favorite events. People, don't like events. It's hard to cover everything and anything, but we definitely appreciate you putting up with us. And again, in this episode, we talked on a lot of the sort of behind the scenes fun facts, medal counts, you name it. There's probably some surprises. I know, Todd, actually, I learned a lot too just from what we talked about today in terms of Olympics. And normally in our shows we do a segment where we give a high five of the week, and Todd had a really cool idea. So because it's Olympic themed, we are going to give a shout out, and it's going to be a high five. It's actually to both a male and female Olympian, right? That's what we want to do. And so
are you officially classifying it as like the MVP on each side, or it's just what you, or are you saying you just wanted to do like the high five?
No, we could call MVP. Okay. I think, right? We're going to do.
Yeah, so it's wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
It's like your MVP is also like your high five. Or
that's right.
We'll have two of them.
Yeah.
We each have two.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you've hung on to us for this long, so you deserve to hear some of our MVPs and high five of the week. This week it's Olympic themed. Todd, you let me know. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You fire one off. Yeah, because I think I could probably come up with a backup if I had to, in case there's a chance we have the same. Good chance we have the same ones. So yeah, go ahead.
So all right, interesting. So
start with women. I'll
okay.
Or
shoot.
Start with whatever you want to start with.
I'll do I'd like to do men. I think that might be the closest one where I might steal your thunder. If you want, you can you could say it too. So my male MVP is Leon Marchand, and I mean, again, I think there were a couple dominant performances across the board on just men's athletics, but even what you said during the episode today about his performances, I think highlighted just how special his performance was in the Olympics. 4 golds, 5 golds.
Yeah.
4. And 4 Olympic records at the same time.
Off the 4 events that he competed in.
Yeah. And so
no, sorry, he was in 2 relays. That's not his fault. Like he doesn't. His team isn't full of other elite guys, or who knows. But they weren't good enough to beat the U.S. or Australia or something. But
yes,
he can't control that.
Yeah, and so fair enough. But I've chosen him just because of how dominating he was in the pool. I knew very little about him going into the Olympics, but just over the last 2-3 weeks, just seeing him perform and how the announcers are talking about him, how you were even talking about him, offline. Just he's something special, and I think he lived up to his name and kind of expectations. So at least from the male side, I went with Leon Marchand.
Yeah, that's great. That is also who I had. I mean, I think it's pretty close to a somewhat no-brainer. I mean, he just was clearly, I think, number one. I'll go.
Do you think?
Well, I would have said Rai Benjamin, right? But I had used him last week as he was my my high five. So I already used him. You know what I'll say? For this, I'll go with Letsile Teboga.
I like it.
Great performance. I mean,
for Botswana.
Botswana, African record. Beat Noah Lyles, however you want to say that. I mean, a diminished Noah Lyles, but
Uh,
beat him, won
Yeah,
won the race easily. The 200 meters. It's a
he
great
looked
time,
very good.
1946. And what he did on the relay, ridiculous on the
Yes.
both rounds. The round before, the semifinals of the 4x4, ridiculous. The guy is not even not at this point not considered a specialist in the 400. In the final, he ran a 43.08 split. That's
Which,
a couple
yeah,
thousandths of a second away from the world record. I mean, I know, okay, you have a running start, so it's not quite the same thing, but
yeah.
he might have won.
That's.
Like, that's a time where you might have won the 400 if he ran the 400. He
Mhm.
possibly could have beaten Quincy Hall in the 400. So, that's it was a pretty ridiculous overall performance for him.
Yeah, and I think he, again, kept Botswana in it on the mixed relay for sure. Like his leg helped solidify a silver medal for them on the relay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He almost ran down Rai Benjamin in that 4x4. He was very close. So yeah, I mean, it's not. When I add it all up, it can't compete with Leon Marchand, but that's my
Yeah, no, again,
that's my
we
number two. Yeah.
perfect, and we can have the same one. I guarantee you, we don't have the same woman
All right.
MVP. So I'll
Okay.
let you go first.
Okay. Yeah, I thought about this a bit, and very much trying not to have like a U.S. bias or whatever, but to me, it's Sydney.
Okay, that was different than what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah, Sydney McLaughlin. I just think I think she was the most dominant athlete historically. Oh, I kind of went with the wrong answer on the men's side. I should have said Pan Zanlei in swimming. That actually is who I should have said because it was just so dominant. The guy, who crushed that world record in the 100. But
Yep.
whatever. Sydney, just so far beyond anyone else who tried to compete with her, crushed everybody. And on that team, that the 4x4 that almost set the world record and easily won gold by 4 seconds, she was by far the fastest split. She ran the
Yeah.
second leg and
Yeah.
no one was even close to her. Gabby Thomas not close to her. Alexis Holmes not close, and they're great.
Yeah. Gabby had a great Olympics.
Yeah, she ran a 47.7 leg in that relay, which is just ridiculous. So yeah, she was my overall most dominant female athlete. So that's why.
I don't blame you. I think that's fair. And I think she deserves it. The world records were. It's exciting when she's on the track. Put it that way. You see her
Yeah,
out there. It is exciting.
yeah.
Yeah, mine female, my woman MVP is not in athletics. It's not in swimming. It is in archery.
Okay.
And so this goes to more also the country domination as well. So South Korea in
Uh,
archery has dominated this event since Korea. So since 1988, but they've been the dominant country.
okay.
Since archery was allowed in the Olympics in 1972, and the woman that I'm giving a MVP to is actually Lim Si Hyun from South Korea. Might not be saying right. She won gold medals in all the events in archery this year. Both there's like an individual event, there's a team event, the women's event, there's a mixed event. So she won gold in all three,
Wow. Wow.
and she also set a world record. So one of the world records broken this year
Wow.
was hers. And I'm just going to explain it to you because to me, this is how crazy this stat. So when they do archery, right? That's not even the right English, but usually there's like a 72 arrow round that they have,
Okay.
and they shoot 72 arrows.
Wow. That is a lot of
So
arrows. Okay.
the world record for 72 arrows in terms of points scored 10 down to 1, right? So the highest points you could score is 720. The world record at the time was 692, set a few years back. She scored a 694 out of 72 arrows. So putting that into perspective, because the number's like, okay, what's 694? Like what does that mean? So she averaged a 9.63 for every arrow shot in those 72 arrows, right? In those rounds. So that means really out of the 72 arrows, do the math right. No, that's not actually doing what I wanted to. I was going to say it's something like 90% plus were bullseyes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what that means. So it is a ridiculous number to throw out there. I don't know. I don't know the evolution of this 72 arrows. I know it's multiple rounds that you're doing. You're participating, but 694. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't understand it. But
it's something like whatever a max score might be.
Yes.
Like 700
yes.
or something like that. Like
the max score is 720. 72 times 10.
720. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Bullseye every arrow. So she hit 694. Crazy. So she missed out on 26 points over 72 arrows.
That sounds crazy. Okay.
Just, yeah. I think, again, it puts herself on a whole nother level. So that's what I'm going to say. And I do, like I said, I think Korea, they are an extremely dominant country when it comes to archery. And her performance, there are several really good athletes that we both could have chosen for both men and women. But I'm going to give it a shout out to South Korea. I do like sort of picking on either unconventional underdog type of people, events, things. I had an Android phone that was a blue product phone for 4 or 5 years because I just kept on believing in them. And then I ultimately made a change. But she deserves it. So Lim Si-hyun, she is a triple gold medalist in the 24 Olympics and deserves my MVP.
Good one. Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
And we are at the longest episode we've had. Again, a lot to uncover on this episode. So we are just about 2 hours in.
I knew I would contribute a lot today with all that research.
You did awesome.
I had a lot of stuff I had to unload, but yeah, I mean,
you crushed it. We had a great episode. Like crickets, right? We're like, okay, no, it's awesome. So really, I think hopefully you all have enjoyed this Olympics 2-part series where there is a lot to uncover, and I think you may hear some Olympic stuff from time to time, but for now we're going to close the chapter on the Olympics with this 2-part segment and really just being able to go through some interesting world records and stats and whatnot when it comes to the Olympics, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. And even if you didn't, you listened. You listened for 2 hours. Billy, if you're out there, we appreciate you. So honestly, thank you to everybody who's listened, who's given us some feedback, who's left comments, who's subscribed, all that. Please continue to share with your friends, your family, your friends. I said that already. Your loved ones. This episode's incredible. Todd, what do you want to add to close this out?
Yeah, I mean, again, I guess with the duration of the episode, you can like drive across state line, mow a really big lawn while you're listening to this.
Yep.
This will get you through some aspect. Oh, it'll get you through some aspect of your life. So yeah,
absolutely. 2 hours well spent.
Yep.
Always a pleasure, Todd. Definitely appreciate it. You crushed it this time. Big high five to you. Big high five to everybody that's tuning in, whether you're watching us or you're listening to us, on Spotify, etc. Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed the episode. Have a great week. Enjoy it. You deserve it. And we'll see you on
We'll do a deep dive on a more conventional sport in the future too. How about that? That'll be a good one, right? bring in some different people. We
Absolutely.
love these obscure things, but yeah, we'll do something like way more mainstream. That would probably be a good episode at some point.
Yeah, we'll have fun. We'll have fun with some of the episodes in the future. And if you got some ideas, topics, things that you want to share with us, say, hey, we'd love to hear your perspective on this topic. Please leave us a comment and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks again. Enjoy it. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.